Now, it's been a bad week at the Palace. They lost their first ever European home game against AEK Larnaca, and next up, a trip to league leaders Arsenal. Mark Scott was at the Emirates.
The winning goal, a moment of quality from Mikel Arteta, his first Premier League goal for you. Was it written in the stars it would be against his old team?
Probably as well, and the way he celebrated as well. Yeah, the technique is unbelievable. It's a really difficult ball to make the contact that he's done with that quality, but yeah, we needed something against a team that is so well organised. Chaotic moments are very important. We find a way to score and win the game.
18, 19 months ago, they lost 5-0 here, yeah, and it's now we are disappointed. And this, I love this ambition, I love this attitude. And yes, that doesn't mean that we're winning every single game in the Premier League, and it's just where we are at the moment. But I love that nobody is now laying back and say, "Oh, it's all good. It was a tight game, and we were competitive, and it's all good." No, the performance was good, and now, yeah, we want to improve.
We know how difficult it is. I mean, we suffer every week to win football matches in this league, and you see the results every single week. So yeah, it's going to be a long run. Let's try to go back again.
Just finally, though, consistency is one thing that you need to have. Belief is another. Is belief high right now, given the way things are going?
Yes, especially winning helps, and winning and competing the way we are competing. Obviously, the emotional state is really high, but a lot of things to improve and get better.
Well, they are looking to improve. What they have got, in contrast to Manchester City, is a range of goal scorers. Their last 9 goals have been scored by 9 different players, the most recent of which, of course, Mikel Arteta against his former club, Crystal Palace. What isn't a surprise, Theo, it was a well-worked set-piece.
We're talking set pieces again, right? Yeah, of course. I mean, it's all down to the delivery, of course. It comes down to this. But when you have players that are willing to affect the game and to actually go for the ball and not be afraid of it, we've seen it numbers and numbers of times. It's the second ball. Eze, the skill, the quality I can talk about. However, I want to just pick out Wharton here, who I think is outstanding going forward. However, in this position here, you need to position yourself side on and see Eze, sense danger. He doesn't sense danger, it's probably his one weakness. He has many strengths, but about the finish itself is incredible. And it's the game changer, should we just say. And Eze is a player that he's made for Arsenal. He really is. But the set piece is all about the delivery. Declan Rice, his delivery has been incredible. And of course, you look at the stats there, the open plays, the one factor they would want to improve. However, Arsenal at this moment in time are winning games in all kinds of different ways. They've got loads of different patterns, and they're so consistent with the players they want to try and target, and Gabriel's the main threat. And
is this the kind of game that kind of ability from set pieces was made for? One of those games that's post the European fixtures in midweek, when neither side are really playing at their best in terms of open play. Is that when the set pieces come into their own?
Well, Palace didn't score. It's the first time they haven't scored this season against the team, and Arsenal, of course, understand their danger. They caused them problems last year. I think these are the games last year Arsenal dropped, West Ham, Fulham, and Palace, they dropped 7 points. So these are the games where essentially it comes down to with the set-piece side of things. But look, Arsenal at this moment in time have not many weaknesses, and they just get through games without performing well. It wasn't the best game to see today.
They love defending.
They just love defending. Even the attackers now, don't they? They all love it.
They do. Enjoy it. It's amazing.
Yeah, because Mikel Arteta said they're suffering to get through games. Does he mean that they're working hard, that they're putting themselves through it, Danny?
Yeah, I think he means all of them as a collective are really pushing their limits to make sure they defend so well and limit other teams from doing it. I mean, these stats are phenomenal, really. You work on it in training, but you need to have a group of players on board with it, and that means the ones who are disappointed they didn't play midweek, now they're playing Saturday, or the ones who are coming off the bench at 64, 68 minutes when they need the same intensity. I mean, Martin has been a great example of coming off the bench this season and doing lots of good things. Yeah, when you have a foundation like that, you can afford not to score that many goals. And the other thing for Arsenal as well, the players, they've got to come back. Yeah. They've got players who are going to come back and give more competition for places. And when you get more competition, you get a higher level of performance. It's a sad worrying, to be honest.
Yeah. and a way for them to keep everybody fresh as well as they head into the end of the season, and taking advantage, of course, of Liverpool and Manchester City dropping points with defeats this.
I thought it was a fantastic technique for him to keep that ball down into the bottom corner.
Yep, no celebrations from Eze against his former club either. His first Premier League goal in an Arsenal shirt. Let's get some reaction from the Arsenal dressing room, beginning with the manager. Here he is, Mikel Arteta.
A massive win. Obviously, we knew the difficulty of it, and consistently to win. It's very, very difficult. Big credit to Palace as well, the way they are set up, the way they are organized, individually, how they fulfill the roles. It makes it really, really difficult for us. We knew that. We know that the longer the game went, probably the game will open up a little bit more. We find a way to score a goal against a really well organized in terms of bodies and behaviors in the box, and after that the second half it was more open. We're a bit more fluent. We had some openings. We didn't score the second one, and when you done that against that team, you are in danger because they score in every goal in the Premier League till today. So we knew that the clean sheet it was going to be difficult, but we have managed to do it.
Yeah, you've kept clean sheets for fun this season, but how satisfying is it to do it against the Palace side, who have been scoring lots of goals and creating lots of chances? What was the key to that today?
Well, the level of concentration and focusing a lot on defensive habits. It's a team that in 2 passes they are in front of goal. So the further the ball is, the more dangerous they are. And you have to recognize that. But it's easier to say it with the video and doing that rather than do it on the pitch. And you could see the moments that they could open you up a little bit and have a space to run. They are super difficult size set pieces. They are incredibly strong as well, from long throws, from corners. And we have restricted them to very, very little.
The winning goal, a moment of quality from Roberto Eze's first Premier League goal for you. Was it written in the stars it would be against his old team?
Probably as well, and the way he celebrated as well. The technique is unbelievable. It's a really difficult ball to make the contact that he's done with that quality. But we needed something against a team that is so well organised. Chaotic moments are very important. We find a way to score and win the game.
And you're showing the consistency that some of the regular title contenders aren't right now.
Yeah, but it's very early in October. We know how difficult it is. I mean, we suffer every week to win football matches in this league, and you see the results every single week. So, yeah, it's going to be a long run. Let's try to recover now very well for Wednesday, different competition. We had some issues as well with some players today, and go back again.
Just finally, though, consistency is one thing that you need to have. Belief is another. Is belief high right now, given the way things are going?
Yes, especially winning helps, and winning and competing the way we are competing. Obviously, the emotional state is really high, but a lot of things to improve and get better.
If you want to compete and want to fight for the titles, you have to win these kind of games. And we know how tough it can be. Last year we lost points against Palace, and I think everyone's seen as well. It wasn't an easy game, but everyone knows how hard it is to win Premier League games. So very important, and I think. The team show character, which something to be proud of.
Looking at the defensive record, another clean sheet for you. How satisfying is that, considering that Palace have been right up there when it comes to creating chances this season?
Yeah, it's a foundation. You know, the most important thing is the 3 points. If that comes with a clean sheet, it is amazing. But it says a lot about how hard we fight and how well we defend together. So again, it's a good thing. Loads of things to do better still. I think if you look at today's game, a lot of things to take, but also a lot of good things to take away, and just keep improving game by game, day by day, and yeah.
Yes, Yuri and Timber, part of that back line that have now kept 10 clean sheets in 13 games in all competitions, and they've still conceded just 3 goals all season. I mean, what a foundation Arsenal are having to go and win football matches.
Yeah, they can cope with injuries, to centre-backs. Gabriel and Saliba, for me, are the 2 best centre-back partnerships in the league. He's picked up an injury again today, Saliba. I think he's nursing an injury, so perhaps they didn't want to take any risks with him. Mascara can come in and take his place. Calafiori, we know, across the back line, can play in there. Lewis Skelly is cover there for that position. And we've got Julian Timber, who, in my opinion, is the best fullback in the league. I think he can do everything. He's a top draw player. And Ben White, who's an international footballer, if he chooses to be, and he can't even get a game at the moment. So the midfield, they've got a load of options. Odegaard in recent years,
Kev, Mickey first.
Waters, panic stations. How are we going to create? Now they've got Madueke out on the side, who's injured at the moment.
Havertz is out.
You've got Saka, who's playing as a little superstar. Kukureya, who's just finding his way playing for Arsenal. They've got everything. You look at the challenges at the moment. If it's Man City, if they was to lose Erling Haaland, I think we would all agree that their challenge is over. And even though he's not playing well, if Virgil van Dijk dropped out at the moment with the cover they have, Liverpool, at that position, their challenge is over. So for me, it's Arsenal's to lose. I think they've got it two hands on it at the moment, I would suggest. They just need, unless there's an epidemic again and they lose load of players, they will win the league. There's no doubt about that. They've had the upset of not being able to get over the line and being so close. They've had that experience. I think they will go one step further, Steve. I really do.
I mean, it's very early days, as Mikel Arteta says, in October, but we've seen the standard of the league in the last few seasons. And if you do get a big lead, some clubs find it difficult to get that back.
Yeah, and everyone would rather have the points in the bag rather than trying to chase later on. But just listening to the noises up till this point this season, and even listening to the interviews, they know the significance of every single game and every single point that's available. They're talking about last season when they drew in a couple of games and let points slip away from them. And even though they were playing really well last season, if you don't get all 3 points on offer, suddenly, 5 or 6 games later, you've slipped too far behind to compete. You're out of the title race. Whereas this season, they know the significance of every single point of every single game. Every single opportunity that they've got, they're trying to make sure they take, regardless of them playing well or not, because we all know, they know, you're not going to play well in every single game during the season, but we can still take all the points. And I just feel there's the right noises coming out of Arsenal this season, the understanding of what they're going to need to do to take that title.
I think they're measured as well in the pursuit of 3 points. If they decide that it's not on, they'll take what's on offer. Whereas Liverpool at the moment, I think they're going, stretching themselves to get 3 points and opening the door at the other end. I think they're more savvy with it at the moment. I really do. I think they've got enough experience in there, certainly enough guile, and the diligence what they're using on the training field, 3 hours a week to practice their set pieces is an incredible amount of time, but it's certainly worth it.
And we mentioned the clean sheet record there. When you look at the defensive stats at the moment, they're topping everything. Look at that. As I just said to Tim, what a foundation to win games that is.
Absolutely. And, that's not just the 2 centre-backs or the back 4 and the goalkeeper. That's across the entire team. They know they have to work as a team to get those kind of results and statistics. They can't just leave their back 4 to it. The 2 holding midfielders, I think, are outstanding in protecting the defensive line behind it. And if you do that, then 1 goal is enough to win football matches. And they've got the quality within their team that somebody can score out of nothing. They can score set pieces. Somebody will sprinkle a bit of magic on the game and they will get a goal. And then they win football matches because they're working so hard to keep clean sheets.
And they don't care what teams come and how they come and play against them. If a team want to have a fight against them, they're big and strong enough to have that. They don't care. They don't care if anyone launching long throws in. We heard Arne Slot recently saying, well, teams come with a low block, they're playing direct football, they're taking long throws as if it's a crime. It's not a crime. And Mikel's telling these boys, no matter what we're up against, we can deal with it. And I think they've got the experience enough to be able to do that now.
They conceded 3 goals. Look, they've got another 29 games to play. The record's 15. That Jose Mourinho Chelsea team, the way they're going, they're on course to get close to that, aren't they?
They are. They're on track. And looking at them from the outside, they don't look like they're going to take away any of the organisation. They know exactly what's expected of them. They are having to make changes across the back line. They're not just completely settled, and yet everybody is up to the standard that is set. And Mosquera's come in and been terrific. And they seem proud by results and clean sheets. They're proud to keep the opposition out. You saw Timber talking about Crystal Palace and knowing they create chances in, but as a team, we know how hard we have to work to stop them, and they enjoy keeping clean sheets. Years gone by, I think we went through a stage where Arsenal only enjoyed scoring 4 and 5 and 6. Now they enjoy keeping clean sheets, and that's a great mentality to have throughout the team, and it's the kind that brings success.
And we know the numbers on corners and set plays, and that's 11 already this season from set plays. I mean, the amount of time they spend on the training ground doing that, and they're way ahead of any other team in those numbers.
That's why they do it. If they wasn't scoring goals, they were spending that amount of time on them, the players would get bored and talk to the manager and say, hey, come on. But when they're seeing the rewards on the weekend or in the midweek games, and they're seeing they're winning games because of their set piece, because of the due diligence what they're doing on the opposition, and the diligence of what they're putting into their own set pieces, the the delivery is unbelievable. I mean, Declan Rice, you would think you want him in the middle of the box, you know, to finish it. I remember England once playing Harry Kane on taking free kicks and corners because he was the best at it. It's all about delivery. If the delivery's not right, it all falls down. But you've got Saka on one side, Odegaard when he plays, and Declan Rice. They put it on the button and they attack it for their lives. The movement's good, the timing's great, and you know, it's winning them games. And if they're not playing well, if they're playing well, they just open teams up with their passing, their movement, their pace. They've got everything.
And that's placing a seed of doubt in the opposition, isn't it, with those numbers? Because they're all trying to stop it. They're spending the week leading up to the game trying to stop
about
it.
Yeah, I mean, if you're having to go into a game against Arsenal with the talent that Arsenal have, and most of your time is actually taken by having to defend set pieces rather than how the spaces Eze might be in or where Saka's going to come at you, then, you know, they're attacking teams on all fronts. They're stretching opposition managers across the board on anything that the game offers, whether it be attack or defensive. I mean, even opposition teams are now not only worried about how to keep Arsenal out, they're now having to find a way of scoring goals because the straightforward way Arsenal are finding very easy to stop teams scoring. So now you're having to think of a new way of stretching Arsenal defensively. And, you know, the amount of work that must go into playing against Arsenal at the moment from opposition management teams must be incredible.
And the experience of managing these games compared to the last few seasons, with the additions that you've pointed out, the depth they have, how much difference do you think ultimately that will make?
I think it stands them in fantastic stead for the season. That experience of missing out before, that experience of the manager not being able to rotate his players, you know, having to play the superstars. Saka's a good example of that. Now he's playing at the moment. We've got Wanyeri we had not even mentioned, Kai Havertz, who needs to come back into that squad. Picking up injuries. These boys are world-class players who can come into Noddy Mweki. They can rotate now, but he's learned when to do it. He doesn't do it recklessly. He doesn't change for changing's sake. He changes when he needs to, and then he perhaps different competition, then he drops and changes the team. But I think there's about 4 or 5 of them who are guaranteed to play in the Premier League. You don't want to make reckless decisions at the moment. There's no need to. They're nice and fit. They're up to speed. They look strong, so play them. Later on in the season, if he's resting some, he keeps them happy because his man management skills are good. Everyone's happy. They all feel part of it at the moment. Even Lewis Kelly and the young boys, Wanyeri's, you would think, oh, perhaps they're not getting enough game time. Mikel is managing that behind the scenes. He's talking to them, telling them there's enough football matches. They're in all competitions. They will play their part. And I think he's married them all in very, very well. And it only bodes well for the season. For me, they got their hands on it.